大家好，欢迎观看与 David 和 Sarah 进餐。今天我们在上海的 Mini House， 在这儿呢 ，Master Chef David Laris 要为我们介绍这个 pasta and risotto.
We have a very cool subject today.
Yeah.
Pasta and risotto. I mean, I love both pasta and risotto, and it's got a very rich and interesting history. The concept of pasta, I think, is something that has been around with humanity since we were able to make grain into flour or semolina into a kind of flour, you know, and we were able to mix water and eggs with it. I think since any time any culture got to that point, it was able to make a form of pasta. So, you know, I mean, the Chinese had noodles, and the oldest record of noodles is 4000 BC, so 6,000 years ago. They found old noodles, like from that long ago. So in the Middle East, the Arab world were making some form of noodle or pasta very early on, as well as a way to take food with them to travel, because you could dry it, like here you could dry it out, and you could take it on a long journey. The Greeks did versions of it. The Italians, of course, did versions of it. I mean, it seems like the entire world has had some form of pasta or noodle in their history from as early as they began to be civilized. Risotto is the other thing we're going to talk about.
Oh, rice.
Rice. You know, a famous Italian dish is risotto, and we'll talk a bit more about it in detail when we make a nice risotto dish later on. I love risotto. I've been making risotto since I was an apprentice chef. Oh. That's why I'm going to make a really decadent risotto today. We're going to make some pasta. We're going to show people how to make pasta from scratch, right through to a finished dish.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to eat some pasta and risotto. Yes.
Okay.
Cheers.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, chef, what's our first dish?
Okay, the first thing we're going to make is Bolognese, and this is been very famous. People know about spaghetti Bolognese, right? Everybody knows about spaghetti Bolognese, but the origins of the dish are from a small town called, well, I don't know how small the town is, but it's from a town called Bologna.
Oh, yeah?
And around the 18th century is when there's the first recorded, you know, mentions of the recipe that I could find anyway.
Oh,
So the origins of this dish really was basically a meat ragu, and ragu is like a stewed, fried meat dish, right?
Okay.
You see, Sarah, I left my pieces of bacon quite big.
Yes.
Right? I mean, some people might chop them smaller. I'm doing
special reason for this?
No, I'm just doing my own. I'm doing my own freestyle version of Bolognese. You know, I want to do my own style, right?
Yeah, you have a lot of freestyle. Very creative.
Just want to do my way.
Your version.
The Italians,
Laris
some
version.
Italians might get upset at me. Some might
Don't
not.
tell them.
I don't know.
Especially your Italian friend.
You know, oftentimes my wife says, "You want something easy tonight?" I say, "Yeah, just make Bolognese," and she makes a really good spaghetti Bolognese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I eat it
your
like.
Your wife is also a good chef?
She's a good cook, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to call her a chef, although she's a great cook. So I'm just spreading those flavors.
Okay.
I've turned my vegetables down to quite a low heat. Okay, so that's down now, nice and low. I'm turning my pan over here for my beef to quite a hot temperature again. I'm adding some oil. And I want to get that nice and hot. And beef. And these days, you know, people are even doing Bolognese with all kinds of stuff. Some people are making like lobster Bolognese and chicken Bolognese and all kinds of stuff. But the traditional is ragu of beef. I think you know what I like to encourage people to do is read about food history. It's one of the most amazing things.
Because it has something to do with the culture, you know, of that country, of that region.
You know, people would be surprised to see how one culture and one civilization has affected another.
The other, yes. It's amazing.
So I'm going to sweat off my beef in as hot a temperature as I can. My vegetables are kind of getting to where I need them to be.
Okay.
I've got some tomato paste.
Can I take a look?
Yeah.
Tomato paste.
So tomato paste
How do you make this?
This is very interesting, actually, tomato paste. And I'm going to fry my tomato paste a little bit.
Okay.
Tomato paste is basically condensed condensed tomatoes, okay, that have been dried. In the old days, they used to dry them in the sun. Yeah.
Okay.
So you would take tomato, you would cut them, season them, lay them out in the sun, let them completely dry in the sun, and then you would grind them into a paste. Okay. So
now you mix them
now I'm just going to bring in. I now sweated off my beef.
Wow. Start to smell good.
Starts to smell good, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very nice.
I've got my tomatoes here, which I chopped up earlier as well. I just want to throw my
那个
tomatoes in.
小西红柿. So you have a lot of tomatoes. You got the paste. You got the small.
Two different flavor profile, right?
tomatoes.
You get one flavor from fresh, one flavor from the paste. You got to think of tomato paste more like a dried version of tomato, right? It's condensed, super condensed, right? I'm also going to add something which we do a lot.
More
tomato.
tomatoes?
This is from tin tomatoes, and you can buy some very high quality tin tomato,
Okay.
which gives us a lovely flavor. And see this shape of this tomato?
Oh.
Is maybe
nice.
this is a very common European tomato. And if you look at this, look how beautiful. And when I open this up,
nice,
look at this.
nice,
If you come in
yeah.
close, have a look at this.
Nice. Yeah.
We open it up, see how juicy and red, and that's. If you tried that,
It looks very juicy and fresh.
that's just like pure tomato. Now I'm going to season it. Sea
这
salt.
个那个盐
I love to
OK，
use sea
好
salt.
盐
I'm going to add
胡椒吧
some
胡
pepper.
椒 pepper OK
I'm going to add. This is again also a little bit of a touch that I like to add. A little bit of beef stock.
Oh
You don't have to add this if you don't want to. It's not. If you can, if you're a really good home cook and you know how to make a beef stock,
you make it
make it, add it. It's good. You know what I do is, at home we always have chicken, beef stocks, fish stock. We make it and we freeze it in little bags. Put it in our freezer. Whenever we're making something, we go to the
take it
freezer.
out to
We
use
take
it.
out a small bag, and then we are ready to go. But you can see we have this beautiful color. That's for the richness from the beef stock, the tomatoes.
It's beautiful
And we really want to just let this cook right down now until it becomes like all amalgamated together. I'm going to add something else. What am I doing? Oop.
OK wine
We're making an Italian Bolognese, drinking a Spanish wine.
真是贵了
We'll add some wine.
It's a modern version
Oh, you know, wine. Ragu always has a bit of wine. This is going to add depth of flavor, as well as
nice
richness.
A lot of red
What we want to do is we want to now just let it slowly cook down.
simmer
Let all of the extra juice come out. Okay, so just the last part we're going to finish off our sauce is I'm going to add some basil. I'm just going to bunch up my herbs and just chop them up
together.
nice and rough. I don't have to worry too much. They're going to cook down. Okay. Okay. Nice big pile of
so
herbs.
fast
We're just going to throw that in to our
Right.
sauce. Another modern touch in Bolognese is adding a little bit of milk. Just a little
还要
bit.
加牛奶哇
This just gives a nice little richness. Okay.
这颜色有点变了 the color change
And what we're going to do is following this, we're going to show how this becomes a very important part of lasagna. And that's the next thing we're going to do. So you see, sir, my Bolognese sauce has been cooking now for a good 2 hours.
yes.
Okay.
2 hours has passed
2 hours have passed. All the liquids come out. It's now a nice thick.
so perfect
Yeah, it should be a nice thick sauce like this. Yeah,
I
that's what
haven't
we
tried
want.
but they
Beautiful.
look perfect
That's what we want. Okay.
Lasagna.
Everybody loves
千层面
lasagna, right?
yes
Okay.
yeah
It's also one of my favorite home dishes. I've also made a cream cheese sauce here. It's a basic cream cheese sauce. Okay. And one of the things we're going to do is we've got here our lasagna. These are already dried lasagna sheets. Okay?
okay.
You can buy these ready-made in the supermarket, or you can make them yourself if you really feel like you want to be a star. Okay? So we have a pot. We're just going to wait for our pot to
Hot
boil.
water
Into our pot, we add a little bit of salt. Always add salt to the water,
why
because the flavor, the seasoning from the salt is going to come into the pasta. Okay? So that way you have a nice seasoned pasta.
olive oil
，olive oil.
橄榄油 again
And the olive oil stops the pasta from sticking together. I think for what we're going to do today, we're going to need around 6 sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It feels like I'm counting.
6 dishes for how many people's meal
This is probably like, depends, for me, 1.
only one
But for some other people, maybe 2. Yeah, when I eat pasta, I eat a
eat a
lot.
lot you're a big person
So we'll let that boil away. Takes about 6-7 minutes. So here we are. Our lasagna has been cooking away. So I've dropped that into the ice water. Okay, that instantly stops the cooking, and our lasagna sheets are now ready. And we're gonna go over in a second now and actually start to layer this into the final dish. Basically, that's it. We've got our Bolognese sauce, which I made earlier.
Yes.
We've got our cheese sauce made. I've got my lasagna sheets made. You notice I added more oil. Okay. This means that they don't stick. Okay, this is beautiful.
Excellent.
They're just before al dente. We've got some Parmesan cheese, and then we're just going to start to layer this thing together. So actually, what I'm going to do first, I don't want my sheets to stick. I want to be able to. Right? And again, this is not a dish that you worry about your weight. You just go for it.
Don't have to worry about weight.
Yeah.
I just have to go to the the gym.
Go to the gym, work out.
Go to the gym.
We're just going to trim up our pasta so it fits our bowl. Okay.
Okay.
This one we're starting. First layer is going to be.
How many layers?
Oh, until it's full.
6.
It's about 6 layers. Let's see how we go. So just putting in my Bolognese sauce. And layer in my cheese sauce. Again, don't stress too much about this having to be a perfect layer, because
I understand.
end of the day you're gonna be
anyway.
pressing it all down, right? Grating some Parmesan.
Parmesan cheese. We had this in our cheese episode.
We did.
So now the second layer.
Now the next layer comes in. Okay, so the last layer. There we have it. That's perfect.
Beautiful.
Okay? You know how I cleaned my edges? Okay.
Yeah, nice and clean.
Otherwise, what's going to happen? They'll burn. Okay. So I preheat my oven 180 degrees
180.
Celsius. 180. You'll find often 180 is pretty common.
180. 180. Wow, 180度.
I'm going to pop that in. You know, most of the elements of this dish are already cooked, so we don't have to worry about it having to stay for hours in the oven, obviously, right? 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on the thickness of your dish. This will take about 35 minutes. Okay, so we cooked our. This is the fettuccine we made earlier. Okay, drop it into our hot water just to make it hot. This is a great little device because we're just going to bring that up to temperature. Really, at this point, we're just heating it up. We don't need to cook it anymore. It's already cooked. Okay. We come over.
See. Oh, cool.
This is great because you just got to hold it all together, and you get all off in one shot. Bang. You know, here we go. This is our fettuccine bolognese.
Oh yes.
The classic itself. This is the originally, as I told you earlier.
You made this earlier.
This is the bolognese was not with spaghetti. What I'm doing is I want cheese on it, but I don't want to cover my whole dish. I still want to show the beautiful colors. So just little things to remember. By putting the cheese on half of it, I actually get to still showcase that beautiful thing. I feel like I really worked today.
Yeah, you deserve some wine and a gorgeous meal.
Taste.
Yeah, thank you.